Welcome to the conversation at airsafe.com. I'm your host, Todd Curtis. On November 28, 2016, an Avro RJ85 jet flown by LaMia Airlines crashed near Medellin, Colombia. On board were members of the Chapecoense soccer team from Brazil, most of whom died in the crash. Later that day, I had a conversation with the BBC program Newsday about that event.
The air investigation now in Colombia has recovered the black boxes from the aircraft that crashed into the mountains around Medellin with Chapecoense on board. They were travelling, of course, to take part in the Copa Sudamericana final. 71 on board were killed, 6 survived.
It's very sad.
And disbelief. We're seeing pictures of the hundreds of fans who turned up at the home stadium yesterday evening, just still in disbelief at this terrible tragedy. Questions being asked as to what went wrong with the flight taking Chapecoense to its biggest game in the club's history. To take us through what we know so far, we're joined now by Dr. Todd Curtis, founder of AirSafe. That's an air safety and security website. You're very welcome to Newsday, Dr. Curtis. The flight recorders, the black boxes, have been recovered. So are we getting a better idea of what might have gone wrong?
Well, certainly the black boxes, if they survive with the data intact, will give a much clearer idea of the status of the aircraft. But so far there is evidence, indirect evidence, and even some of the survivors who are giving an idea of what this aircraft was going through and perhaps the planning that went into this flight that may have led to this event.
We do have 6 survivors, so they will have key information as well. We know, the pilot is being called a superhero, Miguel Quiroga, and it's believed that he was circling, he was dumping fuel because of this electrical problem, because he knew that they were in trouble, but clearly there was little else he could do.
Well, again, it remains to be seen, and the authorities in Colombia will get to the bottom of it, the details of what exactly went wrong. Was there, in fact, an in-flight emergency that led to multiple system malfunctions or failures? Were there situations there that were not just the electrical system, but other parts of the aircraft? Right now, it's entirely too early to tell without further evidence from the authorities.
What about the safety record of the plane involved?
Well, this particular aircraft had not been in any major accident before, but more generally, this model of aircraft, which is based on the British Aerospace 146 design from the 1990s, and has been used around the world. Several hundred of them have been produced. And to the best of my knowledge, there isn't anything out there from the FAA, from the Civil Aviation Authorities of Europe, that shows that this aircraft has any sort of inherent system issues or design issues which would compromise safety. So again, it will probably be a lot clearer once more detailed information on this particular flight has been revealed.
And what about aviation safety in Latin America generally? Is it good?
Well, generally, when you're talking about the airlines that are the first-rank airlines, that is, the national airlines, the larger carriers, certainly some of them have had events, and there have been events with aircraft going to or from South America, most notably in the last few years, the Air France flight that crashed in the Atlantic coming out of Brazil. But as far as the safety of that region, it usually boils down to the operational procedures that are used by particular airlines. For example, the recent crash, this wasn't a normal airline flight open to the public, but a charter flight from a very, very small airline that had apparently only one operational aircraft, the one that crashed. It's hard to compare that with a major carrier like one of the larger ones.
Absolutely. In a wider picture, Dr. Todd Curtis, founder of AirSafe, thank you.
For more information on airline safety and security, please visit airsafe.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.